Blog. Good day to all. Thank you for tuning in to the You Visualize Show, where you can learn to manifest the reality you prefer using the law of attraction. This is your host, Michelle Kraft, motivational speaker and teacher of law of attraction and visualizing. Thank you for tuning in. If you missed last week's show, Fear of the Future, Manifest a Future of Fear, Part 1 of 2, you will find it in the archives and you can listen to the show at your leisure. Today's show is Part 2 of Fear of the Future, Manifest a Future of Fear. We have a special guest host today, the talented and influential Carole Dean, author of the book, The Art of Manifesting, an entrepreneur, producer, grantor, and speaker. Welcome to the Visualize Show, Carole.
Thank you, Michelle.
How are you doing today?
Wonderful. I'm in California. It's still June gloom, but it's comfortable weather. We love it out here.
Oh, wow. We've just finally got summer in Germany. We've had doom and gloom for a while, but now it's hot. Well, actually, most people wouldn't call it hot. We call it hot at 85 because we're used to 25.
Right.
So I am so happy to have you on the show today, Carole. I was very excited all week thinking about this, and so we're just going to jump right into this because while the excitement's high. And so what I want to know right away is we want to know what prompted you to write your book on manifesting.
Well, that's a really good question because I never set out to do it. I teach filmmakers how to raise money for their films and had written a book called The Art of Film Funding, Alternative Financing Concepts. So in traveling around the world teaching my book, I realized that some of the people who had very strange ideas for film were able to get the money and finish the film, while others who had brilliant ideas didn't make it. They went back to the dental school or they gave up on filmmaking entirely. And I started calling this the unknown factor because usually these people would be equally talented, equally educated, etc. But what appeared, and finally the two filmmakers told me that they were making a film about the life and times of leeches, and they were raising money to go to Australia. And I thought that it was a joke. I thought someone put them up to it.
Right? Leeches? Okay.
And I swear to you, I got a postcard 3 months later from Australia saying, "We made it. I told you we would." So I realized it starts in your mind, all right?
Right.
You do create your future, and it's especially true here in Hollywood. When you think of Spielberg, he says, "I dream for a living." So he's constantly visualizing his film. You know, he gets an idea for a film, he starts to visualize it, and then he manifests it.
Okay, so you believe that your mind is important to create your future.
Exactly. And I started teaching the second book along with the first because when I told filmmakers I wanted to help them manifest money, they all said, "Oh, we don't need that. Just give me a to-do list." So I said, okay, and I sort of incorporated this process with the to-do list, and it has worked.
Wow. So what's on this to-do list? I mean, it's just specific to whoever is, trying to manifest something specific, right?
Well,
it
really is getting clearly, you've got to clearly identify what the manifesting process is because it's not an passive state where you just sit there and think, gee, I would really love to have this. It's an active state. You have to utilize the laws of energy to bring this to you. You need to see what you want and know in your heart and physically believe that you can bring what it is into this reality. So when you look at something like it's transferring energy is what it is. It's a potential that's always been there, but needs to be released. So those people listening who want to move into a creative field or a better job or write a book, you have that potential inside you. It's recognizing that the potential is there and you need to release the potential. So I can better explain that if you take a look at a lump of coal. It looks like a black rock. But if you ignite that rock, then you have light and heat, which was always inside of it. It just needed to be released. And this is what I think we all have. We have tremendous potential. But recognizing that and learning how to release it is the key to manifesting.
Okay, so could that be, comparable to, like they say, a good, element to manifesting is allowing it, allowing it to come.
Yes, you have to allow it. Now, that is very important because people sometimes can block things and without realizing it. So the first thing I think I teach is that you've got to be very clear with your intentions because the universe has to understand exactly what you want. For example, if someone said, well, I'd like you to think of 6 months from now and what you would want to be doing and what you would like to have achieved in this next 6 months, say by Christmas. I like to tie things to holidays because then we can feel it at that time of the year. It's the holiday time of the year. Or in the summer when you have...
There's high energy.
Yeah.
There's high energy around that time, yeah.
See yourself at that time. But the first thing I did was I went to the dictionary and I looked up the word manifest. Now, it says, evident to the senses, especially to the sight, apparent, obvious to the understanding, easily apprehensible, plain, not obscure or hidden. Okay, this is the key. So you can say, in 6 months I'd like to live in a big and have a lot of money, because the universe may put you in an old barn that's a big house. And you might end up with $500 in your bank account, or pounds, which to some people is a lot of money. So you've got to be specific. And you can't ask for tons of things. I think you get very clear on what you want. And sometimes when you attract one thing, it brings other things along with it. So creating your goal for the next 6 months can be achieved as long as you know that you have something to do with creating your future. And that's what I'd love for your listeners to take away from the show, is to understand that they can create their future, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was addressing fear of the future, manifests more fear. And if you're focusing on fear, fearing something's going to happen or it's not going to go right, that's usually what happens. And, you said something earlier about the barn and the money and stuff that it reminded me of something that I didn't even think about until you said it. When I manifested the house that I'm living in, I had a big, long list of what I wanted. But what was really strange, there was one of the things I wanted, but I wasn't even sure could happen because it was Germany, because I wanted arches over the, over the doors. Arches in my house because I love that kind of Greek feeling. But I was like, but we're in Germany, so, I don't know. I said, but I do want arches. And I got everything on my list in the house, absolutely gorgeous. And I walked into the house, and it was just so perfect. And you know what? I had an arch. I had one little arch over the bathroom door, and I was like, I got one arch. I should have asked for more and believed that I could have more arches.